Thanks for joining us today. My name is Shannon from Strategic Intervention Solutions, and we're going to be featuring in this video tutorial how to play the game Deco.Train. If you're new to us, make sure you check out our website at sis4teachers.org and like us on Facebook under Strategic Intervention Solutions. The Deco.Train game in this video will feature how to play the game with early kindergartners or even preschoolers. This is a great game, as we kind of call it, a kindergarten survival game where there really isn't a winner or a loser. Students are actually just familiarizing themselves with the Deco.Dot cards. The game will also feature a challenge to help kids to do a +1 or a -1 based on the train that they're building. Let's play. In this game, Deco.Train, we're going to feature how to play it with the original version of it. This is a great version to play with kindergartners early on in the year or even in preschool, because they're essentially just sorting the Deco dots that they're working with. On here we have 10 different spaces on the board. With the game board for this game, it's really nice if you laminate it and put it on a legal size sheet. We also have kind of the clear folders that you can put stuff in that you use for binders that also work really well. On here you can write numbers if you want to, for them to associate the actual quantity to the number, or you can just leave it blank. Students can choose whichever color of Deco dots that you have them working in, so depending on where they are in subitizing and understanding of numeracy, you'd want to place them accordingly. Each of the games in our download features an activity card for students to know in the classroom how to play. So if we look at this one more specifically, it has the name of the game. It's going to have the game board that students need to get out of the math salad bar, as well as the accountability sheet. Each of the games comes with an accountability sheet. However, for different age students, you don't need to use it if it makes it too complicated. But it's a really great way to know that students are actually using the game and using the appropriate math skills. On here are pictured which Deco dots you want them to use. So maybe you might have one of those circled, and the games will always be indicated if they're a 1 or a 2 player game. Deco.Train could be a 1 or 2 player game, depending on how you're using it. I'm going to choose to use the yellow deck of cards to sort them. Students will have their train out in front of them and simply draw a card, subitize how many they see. I know that there's 8 on this card, and they're going to put it in the 8th box, being that this one is the first. We know that this is number 8. Again, you could write the numbers on here for kids if they needed it. The next one here is an 8, so I'm going to go ahead and sort it this way. This one here has 9. Kids could talk about how they know it's 9 by it's 1 less than 10. Kid's going to sort here and continue sorting the entire deck that they're working with. This is really great in guided math groups when you're working with students, as well as for it to become an independent station in kindergarten or preschool. Because we want kids to really have an accountability sheet to know that they're not just playing around in the station, because you might be working with a guided math group, you can have students do an accountability sheet for Deco dots. On this particular accountability sheet, it's very simple. Students will pull up the number that they're working on and count how many cards they have. So let's say they end up finding 8 8s. Next to the number 8, they're going to go ahead and say that they have 8 8s that they found. Maybe they found 7 3s. They're going to turn this into you. We usually don't grade the accountability sheet. We typically kind of recycle it, but it's that sort of key to know that kids are not messing around as they're playing the game. Remember, you can differentiate the game by making it easier for preschoolers or early kindergartners by just using the 5-frame deck. The 5-frame deck, again, could be sorted, but you're just going to use the top part of the deck. You also could bring in the scatter deck if you wanted to, 1 through 5, or you could also do it all the way 1 through 10. The indicator sheets that we have here can be changed out if you're playing the original version or if you're moving into more of the challenging version. All of our activity cards that you don't have to put them out at centers already have the accountability sheet for kids. They know exactly what game board to grab. They know what card they're in and if you're playing with 1 or 2 players. In this game, it's very similar to the regular Deco Dot game. However, it's a Deco Dot challenge where they're going to take away 1. So if you see the numbers are already indicated here, you're going to want to pull out the wilds, and you're also going to want to pull out the zeros in this deck, but they're going to subtract 1. There's another accountability sheet where they're taking it and has an example of them subtracting. I'm going to continue using the yellow Deco dots, but you can also use the green or the red. So I flipped the number 5. I have to indicate what is 1 less. Some kids literally need to put their finger over 1 and reassess where they're going to place it. So 1 less than 5 is 4. I'm going to continue with the next card. I drew a 9, 1 less makes it 8. So kids are going to continue sorting. Again, you might want them just to learn how to play the game first and then start to bring in the accountability sheet. So as they draw their card, I drew a number 2. If I subtract 1, it's going to be on the 1. So kids can turn this in. There's only a few spaces on here that they can do the accountability sheet. You can throw it away if you want to or recycle it, but again, it kind of gives that check-in that they're going to that station and that you know that they're actually doing something and understanding how to play the game. Thanks so much for joining us today to learn how to play Deco.Train. We hope you found the video tutorial helpful as to how you can integrate and differentiate with accountability in your classroom. There are a ton of resources and other tutorial videos on Deco Dots on our website at sis4teachers.org. I'm Shannon, the creator of Deco Dots. I hope that you have a ton of fun in your classroom playing with Deco Dots. Without making a sound.